Ano gusto nyo? Pre-test o post? Before I start, let me just share to you this beautiful, inspiring story. There was once a small village, and there was an old man. His name was Samuel. Okay, he was a very humble man, and he is known throughout the entire village. However, the thing about Samuel here is that he is blind. Okay, so he is known for his kindness, but he is also known to be a blind person. Though he couldn't see the world through his eyes, he always experiences the joy that life gives to him. Then there was one time a young boy named Daniel. Okay, he came over to visit Samuel. Sabi niya, you know what, Samuel? Sabi, I'm so troubled. Why is it that I have been judged because I'm small? I have been overlooked by others because of my size, or it's because I am a kid. Pero ikaw, how is it that you live so happily when you cannot see the world at all? Sabi ng bata sa kanya. And you know what Samuel answered? He said, because I see with my heart and not my eyes. My heart helps me to see the beauty in people, not their appearances. I can see someone's love when they speak kindly, their joy when they laugh, and their pain when they cry. The eyes can be deceived, but the heart always sees the truth. Aww. And you know what? Samuel reached out to the shoulder of Daniel, and he said to him, people may look at you. I'm also talking to you as well. People may look at you and see only what's small or weak. But when God looks at you, He sees strength, purpose, and love. And don't let the eyes of others define you. Let your heart show you and the world who you really are. And after hearing this, Daniel left with a changed perspective in life. He realized that the heart reveals what the eyes often miss, and the true value of a person, the depth of love, and the beauty of God's creation. So this is actually a very applicable lesson that we can also make for ourselves. I don't know if I'm pretty sure some of you are familiar with the book The Little Prince, right? The very famous quote there, it is only through the heart that one can see clearly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. If you read that book, it's the very famous quote that was by Antoine, okay, the author of that book. And I do hope that we don't judge other people by the way they look, but rather what is inside the heart. How we judge them is actually more important whenever we look inside of their hearts. So the message here is that the story reminds us to look past the surface and see with the heart, for that is where truth and beauty dwell. When we choose to see others the way God does, we unlock a deeper understanding of love, grace, and purpose. So I'd like to share to you this memory text. It's found in 1 Samuel 16 verse 7. The Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Okay, I hope you'll be inspired by this short story, because our topic for today is all about the eye. Okay, so we all set, and let's have a short word of prayer. The topic will cover 3 chapters of Gaiton. I think this is 51, 52, 53. So let's start with the easiest. By the way, are there anyone here who had a background in optometry? Are there optometrists here? Meron ba? Who took optometry as their pre-med? Meron? Wala? Okay. At least meron akong gagawin. Wala. Sasabihin. So to start with, let's go first to optics of vision. Okay, it's very important. Napakaganda naman sinasabi natin pagdating sa mata. The eye is the window of the soul. How would it feel if you were blind? Mahirap ba? Have you tried walking around a room, in just a small room, no, nakapigit? Or how much more kaya kung sakaling nakapatay yung ilaw, di ba? Magsisiyak ka lang galing sa kwarto. Sabi nila ayaw mong dumilot kasi pag dumilot ka na ganyan, hindi ka na makakabalik sa tulog. Okay? Anyway, our objectives for this is we're going to describe the visual receptors, list the type of lenses, how they work, determine the power of lenses, describe accommodation for near vision and far vision, recognize nearsightedness and farsightedness to determine its correction, describe visual acuity, and determine the intraocular pressure and glaucoma. But before we do so, let us start first with the physical principles of optics. I'm pretty sure lahat po tayo dito kumuha ng Physics 2. Okay, so meron yan, di ba, may light and optics. Am I right? Or you have to study all about light. Di ba, yung speed of light, and that sort. Okay. The very first thing that I want you to know is what we call the refraction of light. When you say refraction of the light, it means that it is the bending of light rays by an angulated interface. The interface could either be a surface, a glass, or more so if what we are using here, yung lens, okay, with different refractive indices, yung grado na sinasabi. The degree of refraction increases as the difference in the refractive index increases and the degree of angulation increases. If you notice that a certain interface, such as a straight piece of glass, pag naglagay ka ng ilaw dyan, what would happen? You will still see the same as is. But when you bend the glass a little, anong mapapansin ninyo? Medyo mag-curve ang mga images, right? And what about if it becomes thicker and thicker? Kumakapal na, nagbe-bend pa, the light that passes through is also going to bend. Okay, so that's the feature of the eye, which is also similar to that. So mga simple lenses that we have, because the eye also has a different refractive index as well. That causes the light to bend in order for it to reach a certain part of the eye for your eyes to focus. I know some of you here are into photography. The same principles apply when it comes to optics. So these lights, when they are already eventually bent, they need to be focused specifically on the retina. Now, once na nag-focus yan, you will now see the image that is now being projected. Always remember that it is a very important thing that light is present in order for you to see an image clearly. Without it, you will not be able to see the image that is being projected. No? Kahit sabihin mo you have the brightest eyesight, pero without light itself, hindi yun, kahit tumatama pa siya doon sa retina part, it's not going to act properly. Because it needs light. The light is the one that enters the eye for you to be able to see the image clearly. So, I was mentioning a while ago about the refractive index. Refractive index is actually the speed of light in air, which is equivalent to 300,000 kilometers per second. Napakabilis, ano? How many of you here know which is faster? Speed of sound or the speed of light? Light, diba? Mas lesser, I think, if the speed of sound is less than 150,000, I think. Okay? Light speed decreases as it passes through a transparent substance. I will show you later. When you say transparent substance, that could be either a piece of glass, okay? And so, the refractive index is the ratio of the speed of light in air to the speed of light in the substance. Take, for example, the speed of the light substance is around 200,000 kilometers per second. So, being known that the refractive index is at least 300,000 kilometers per second, just divide that over the speed of light in substance, which is 200,000. Then that will give you a refractive index of 1.5. No, habang tumataas yan, that means the substance itself is now becoming more denser and denser, becoming thicker and thicker. I think this is in your book, this picture. As you can see, when the light travels forward in a beam, let me just put on another highlighter here para mas maganda. Yeah. Okay, so this is the light beam that passes through the interface, which is specifically a glass. As you notice, it's just a straight interface. Napaka-plain lang yan. Okay? It is also noted that it is perpendicular. When you say perpendicular, as is lang yan, hindi nagbe-bend. Okay? So the interface is just the same. It enters the medium without deviating to the left, to the top, to the bottom. It's just going in a straight line as well. But the only difference is that it has now a shorter wavelength. Kung napapansin ninyo, the distance from this to this, mas shorter siya. Ito ang kakapal nito eh. Okay? And then when it becomes shorter and shorter, there is now a decrease in the velocity. O syempre naman, it's already an interface. It's not air anymore. But if it is air, it will just remain as is. But the interface of a certain type, like a glass, perpendicular to that, lamig naman dito. Sa akin. Perpendicular to the glass, is actually going to stay the same, save for the fact that the velocity is decreased. But take a look at the second one here in B. The wavelength is still the same, however, the interface now has a certain bend here, a certain angulation. So what happens now is that the light rays that are being sent forward here is going to bend as well. That is now what you call refraction of light. Okay, that's the reason why the best example that I can give you is to put a pencil in a glass of water. Ano napansin niyo doon sa pencil? It cuts, right? Diba? So just an example, the water acts as the interface wherein the light itself bends. So yun yung mga ano. But what would happen? What are the reasons why there is an increase in the refraction? First, the ratio of the two refractive indices of the true transparent media. And the second is the degree of the angulation between the interface and the entering wavefront. So if you put it this way and then you angulate it this way, or mas makapal ito, no, the light that enters this is going to bend. If there is another interface, such as that as the glass that you have added here, mag-iba pa ang itsura niya. Okay? You got it? That's refraction. Okay, who among you here knows the principle of a prism? What happens when light strikes a prism? It bends towards. If a light strikes, what is the rule of a prism? It always bends toward the base. Okay? Tandaan nyo yun, because the next pictures that I'm going to show you is very important. Once light strikes a prism, prisms are usually triangular, right? And always the rule here is that when light hits the prism, it always bends toward the base. Pababa siya. So if this is the base, when light enters here, it goes down. Okay? So, the principle of the lenses, what are the two kinds of lenses that you know? Yung principle? Concave and convex. Umpisa natin muna ang convex. Putting together two convex lenses, no, nagkakaligtahan din yan, two prisms, you are now creating what we call a convex lens. Am I right? Diba? Patungin mo na lang yung basis nila. So, when light enters, what would happen? Okay. Let's move this one over here kasi yeah. Remember yung rule kanina that the light, once it reaches the prism, it bends toward the base. So this is the base. So it bends toward this and this. So what do you call this? The bending of the light? We called it now divergence. No? Convergence, sorry, convergence. They converge within each other. So that is now the principle for the convex lenses. What about when it comes to sa concave? Okay, mas gusto nila dito. Concave lenses, baliktarin nyo lang. Okay, so it's just two prisms. Yung apex nila are pointing with each other. So you are now forming a convex lens. Concave lens, sorry. Nalilito na ako. So once it reaches, a light moves toward. You want me to move there? Or you can hear me clearly? Parang naman napaka-unusual na I'm lecturing to someone behind me. Okay, so this now forms the rule of divergence, which is seen in concave lenses. Okay, naintindihan nyo na. Yun lang, as long as you know the principle of light entering a prism, pwede nyo nang, you can easily understand this. Okay? Anyway, concave, when you say cave, parang meron depression. Okay, so, it's much easier. Once lights hit it, it diverges from each other. Okay. Now, I'd just like to show you this one because concave lenses focuses on specific light rays, and then, when they now reach a certain point, we call this the focal point. Now, the focal point between that where the light bends is now called, and up to the point where the light converges is called the focal length. Got it? The focal length. Now, this is very important, especially when we are dealing with the lenses, especially for the eyes, because once we deal with this, we have to make sure that the focal length reaches a certain amount of distance for the focal point to reach the retina for the image to be focused. And in some cases, there are also some instances where you are needing to have yung tinatawag natin na divergent lenses. Lenses that are going to diverge the light rays from a certain distant source. Now, there is another kind of special lens that we make use of, especially for those with irregularities within the medium of the eye. We call these the cylindrical lens. The cylindrical lens naman, they are the ones that bend the light rays in only one specific type of plane. As you can see over here, no? This is a cylindrical lens. The first one here shows a convex spherical lens, and the one is a convex cylindrical lens. And you can see the focal point is within this area. Kung itong focal point, itong spherical, okay? For the cylindrical lens, it's this one. So, that is the principle naman of some certain types of eye problems that need to focus on specific types of the retina. That's why we have this mga tinatawag natin na concave cylindrical lenses. But if you look closely, if a focal line is on a certain, focal line is actual is line, it's not a certain type of focus. Like for example, a tall person, syempre, you're not just looking or focusing on the topmost, you're also focusing on the lowermost part of that person. And it also needs a point that will be able to have that focal line. Okay? It's not just this one, it's not just this one, but this one. But it has to be as a whole. And now, when you put two of these together, they may also provide you a point focus, similar to that of a cylindrical, similar to that of a spherical type of lens. Okay. Balik tayo sa focal length. When you say focal length, it is the distance beyond a convex lens at which parallel rays converge to a common focal point. So, it is necessary that the source of light will come from a distant point or a point source as well. But if the refractive power or the lens starts to have a different kind of power, they can still focus on a certain focal point. You got it? Sige, I'll try to make it easier for you. What have you noticed whenever you're using your camera in portrait mode? Fino-focus lang niya yung the one that is closer. But you know what? Whenever the other one is, that's why the eye can only focus on a certain type of distance. But if you want to focus on something further, the light from that distance has to focus make the focal point, or it has to move the focal point by changing the shape of the lens in order to make this one reach the certain point within the retina. Diba? Like, tignan mo ito. The source point here of this are the same, pero the focal points are further from each other based on the length of the size of the lens that is being shown here. However, focal points similar to this from a distant source and that of a point source, they can show the same shorter focal length and focus on the same focal point. Unlike this one, they have the same point source, but with a shorter type of lens or a more longitudinal type of length, mas malayo yung focal point ng isa. Okay, got it? Medyo mahirap i-digest ang optics. Basta importante lang, the focal point is when it changes it changes whether it's shorter or not yung lens natin sa mata. Now what about, take for this one, a better picture. Okay? This one shows now a convex lens with 2 point sources, with this one, the top and the bottom here. The point source from here and the point source from here. It reaches over there. It also gives 2 focal points, but in an inverted manner. So in other words, what you see is actually inverted. It is only the mind that reverses it into the correct position that we are supposed to see it, on an upright position. Okay? We also have what we call the term called diopter. This is the measurement of the refractive power of the lens. And the more a lens bends light rays, the greater its refractive power. This refractive power is measured in terms of diopters. So the refractive power in diopters of a convex lens is always equal to 1 meter divided by its focal length. So every time yung diopter, habang kumakapal yung lens sa ganyan, it is always equal to 1 meter. I-divide mo lang siya by the focal length. The focal length is where the light starts to bend, and then the focal point is the length is up to the point na kung saan nagkakaroon ng focal point. You got it? So yun yung tinatawag natin na yung gaano kakapal yung grado ng sinasabi natin sa mata, sa lenses natin. So just take this for example. What have you noticed between the different lenses here? Well, the lenses here, mas payat, tumataba. So, habang tumataba yung lens o kumakapal, the diopter becomes higher and higher. Okay? That's the easiest explanation I could give you. Okay? Because as it becomes thicker, the diopter becomes thicker or higher, the focal point also starts to decrease as well. Pero pag tumataas na the diopter becomes lower, the focal length starts to increase as well. Okay, so from here to here is the focal point. Okay. Ngayon, let's apply this now dun sa mata. So what do you think are the 4 refractive indices of the refractive interfaces of the eye? Maraming padadaanan yan, ano? So the first is between the air. The air itself is part of it, and the anterior surface of the cornea. I think this is also in the book. The interface between the posterior surface of the cornea and the aqueous humor. Did we have an anatomy of the eye na? Akala ko ba ano na to? When is your anatomy ng eye? Wala pa?
Wala pa po.
Oh, akala ko ba aligned na ito? Okay, sige. Anyway, I will just give you a brief of the eye later. Okay, so the next interface is the interface between the aqueous humor and the anterior surface of the lens of the eye, and the fourth interface that would refract the light that's entering the eye is the interface between the posterior surface of the lens and the vitreous humor. Nasaan yung aqueous humor? It's just behind the cornea. Aqueous humor. Well, the vitreous humor, yun yung nagbibigay ng shape ng mata natin, yung globe. Sorry, but I don't have a picture. I thought kasi you already had this. Okay, so, knowing the fact, may certain diopters yung mga refractive, refractive interfaces of the eye. Okay, so from here, the object from the air to the cornea is 1 diopter. From the cornea itself, then going towards that is 1.38. Aqueous humor is 1.33. With the lens of 1.40 and the vitreous humor of 1.34, giving you a total refractive power of 59 diopters. Alanganin pa, no? 59 pa. Ito naging 60. Okay? So everything that the light passes through will bend and bend and bend until it gives you all of these certain power for you to be able to refract the image within this certain point, which is the retina. There are actually image formations on retina. Remember that the light refraction or bending of the light by the refractive media. Next is accommodation, which I will tell you later about it. But just to give you briefly what accommodation is, it is the increase in the curvature of the lens. So yung lens natin, kumakapal siya or pumapayat. Okay, so in order for you to be able to focus it properly on the fovea or within the retina. We also have what we call constriction of your pupil, which is meiosis, and dilation of the pupil, which is called mydriasis. And the convergence and divergence of the eyes for binocular vision. If you notice, the only reason kaya we are looking singly is because maayos yung ating pagtingin. I mean, they are well coordinated. The left eye is well coordinated with that of the right eye in order for you to see only one image. Kaya di ba pag tinitingnan nyo, what happens to your eyes when they converge together yung nagtutuling kayo? Nagiging dalawa. Okay? Remember that it has also something to do binocular vision. That's why you only see one image. Okay, sige. Tanong ko nga, what happens when you look far enough? Malayo-malayo tinitignan mo, what happens to the pupil of the eye? Constrict? Or ano? Mamaya na yun. Mamaya, I'll get to that. Sige. Think about it. What happens? Accommodation. Sige, punta muna tayo sa accommodation. I already mentioned a while ago the light refraction dun sa four refractive interfaces. Okay? Cornea, aqueous humor, lens, and the vitreous humor. Let's now go to the second one, accommodation. Okay, so this is the mechanism by which the eye changes refractive power by altering the shape of the lens to focus object at variable distances. So if you need to go further, closer, mangyayari, you need to focus on something far, the shape of the lens is going to change. Just take a look at this. So an image is being brought closer, what happens now to the lens? It becomes more spherical. But something that is further away will now move the lens to become flatter. So let's move over towards the lens. Who among you here have very thick eyeglasses na talagang may problema? Some of you have? Meron kayo? Makapal yung glasses. So lens is composed of a solid elastic capsule which is filled with viscous, proteinaceous, and transparent fluid. Whenever it is in a relaxed state, there is no tension and it's almost spherical. So, pag naka-relax siya, mas bilog ang ating lenses. This is just an example of the way the lens looks like. If it is relaxed, okay, mas relaxed, so mas flatter siya. When you call that accommodated, mas makapal na siya. It becomes more spherical. And the reason what makes this move about, making it more spherical, are what we call the suspensory ligaments. The suspensory ligaments are the ones that are found radially. When you say radially, it goes around the lens, and they are constantly tense, causing the lens to remain flat. In the ciliary muscle, there is also what we call the ciliary muscle, and they have two types of fibers, called the meridional fibers and the circular fibers. The meridional ones are the ones responsible that are, when they pull it, whenever the lens contracts, they move towards the edge of the cornea, releasing the tension. While the circular fibers, since they are arranged around circularly, during contraction, the sphincter-like action occurs and decreases diameter of the circular ligaments, and there is also less pull of the lens as well. So, mas relax niya. So this is just an example again of the, let's see, maganda ba ito? Yun. So when you say during accommodation, nagiging mas rounder ang lens natin. For shorter focal length, mas malapit, ano nangyayari? What happens to the lens? And I guess this is the best one. Spherical. Okay? So there will be a question yet later sa quiz about that. Okay, so there are just some important considerations. If you notice that in children, their refractive power can easily be increased voluntarily from 20 voluntarily. So pwede nilang i-focus near or far from 20 diopters to 34. That's enough. Changing the shape of the lens, making it fatter and more convex. Oh, that's why some of the reason why babies can see much clearer para mas makikita nila yan. Okay? Mga closer visions. And also, the ciliary muscle is controlled almost entirely by the parasympathetic nerve, which is transmitted in the eye through cranial nerve number 3. What's cranial nerve number 3? Very good. Okay. So ano naman ang tawag doon sa mga problema ng mga matatanda na hindi na, like me, I'm not matanda na, but I have a problem with accommodation. What do you call that problem? The term here is called presbyopia. Who among you here starts needing glasses now because nahihirapan na kayo mag-focus on near objects? Diba? No, we're not yet in farsightedness. When you say presbyopia, it is a condition of physiological insufficiency of accommodation. The problem here is accommodation. So, hindi na kaya ng lens nila, na mag-spherical or mag-widen up o mag-flatten. Because, usually as they age, ang nangyayari, yun ang nagiging problem na. As the person ages, the lens grows thicker, larger, and becomes far less elastic. Partly because of the progressive denaturation of lens proteins. The power of accommodation decreases from about 14 diopters in a child to less than 2 diopters by the time a person reaches 40 to 50 years old, and to essentially 0 diopters at age 70 years. So pagdating mo talagang 70 years, talagang hindi mo kayang tumingin ng mga malapitan ng mga bagay. If napansin niyo, if you're reading, nahihirapan na kayo magbasa ng malapitan, pero dati kaya, that's a sign of aging. Okay? Ganyan, look at this. The menu, which is closer, nababasa. That's why, what do you notice among old people na wala silang glasses? When they read, di ba? Tinitignan nila. Okay. Pero pag nilapit mo, wala na. Okay. My condition started of presbyopia kasi when I was 38 years old. It was premature presbyopia. Some of you may not have, no? But some of you are lucky enough. So this graph just shows you, as you age, talagang the diopter starts to decrease. Once you start to reach 40, bumababa na. Okay, so pagdating mo ng 60, it's already nearly close to 0. So pahirap na magbasa ngayon. So what are the causes of presbyopia? They are age-related changes in the lens. They are due to the decrease in the elasticity of the lens capsule and progressive increase in the size and hardness of the lens substance, which is not easily molded. So, kumakapal na rin at tumitigas na rin. So, hindi na niya kayang maging very flexible. Unlike yung sa baby, di ba? Like what I said, there's an extra diopter na kaya niya. So, age-related decline also in the ciliary muscle power. So, like what I mentioned a while ago, I had this premature presbyopia, which is uncorrected hypermetropia. It's like premature sclerosis of the crystalline lens. It's debilitating, causing presenile weakness of the ciliary muscle, and sometimes they say that it also causes chronic simple glaucoma. What are the symptoms of presbyopia? There's difficulty in near vision. Hindi far vision, They have difficulty in reading small prints. And sila yung madalas na sumasakit ng ulo, yung kakaroon ng eye strain. Okay, when they have eye strain, it's due to fatigue of the ciliary muscle, okay, after reading or doing any near work. So, what is the treatment? Ano sa tingin niyo pwede for presbyopia? Aside from glasses. Okay. Anything? Surgery? Nah, I don't think so. Well, actually, the best pa rin is always see the world as you have never thought possible. Kasi, tignan nyo na lahat, see the world, because time will come when you will not be able to see them properly anymore. Okay? Okay, punta na tayo sa pupillary diameter. I was asking you a while ago what happens. What's the reason bakit nagko-constrict or bakit lumalaki yung ating pupils? The light, okay. So, what does it do? Same with the aperture of a photograph. What are you controlling there? Of a camera?
Aperture.
What's the aperture nga ba? Yun nga ba yun? What is the one that, in photography, which is the one that controls the amount of light that goes inside? I'm not sure. I'm not into photography. Okay? But what I'm trying to point out here, it controls the amount of light that enters the eye. So what happens here is that when it constricts, what's the term used for constriction of the eye? Meiosis. Pag dilation? Mydriasis. Please familiarize yourselves with those terms now, ha? Meiosis. Hindi yung meiosis ng ng cell reduction. It's meiosis, not meiosis. Okay? So what happens here is that the pupil constricts as the circular muscles of the iris are contracted, and it is actually a parasympathetic response. Huwag niyo kalimutan na yun. Parasympathetic, meiosis. Mydriasis, it's sympathetic. The pupil dilates as the radial muscles of the iris. Pupil dilates, iris contracts. That's actually sympathetic. Okay. So the major function of the iris is to increase the amount of light that enters the eye during darkness and to decrease the amount of light that enters the eye during brightness or when there is light. Okay. Eto na. It also contributes within the depth of focus. Kung gaano kalayo yung gusto mong makita or gaano kalapit, the lens increases with decreasing pupillary diameter. So, this is just the way you look at it. No? So, what happens now? Whenever the lens increases in diameter, decreases also in the pupillary diameter. Pag dinataas ng lens yung kanyang system increase or the diopters, then the pupillary starts also to decrease as well. So the greatest possible depth of focus occurs when the pupil is extremely small. By looking at very, very far, you want to make sure that it focuses properly. Okay? Yung nakikita mo pinakamalayo doon, the farthest one, so your eyes is going to, your pupil is going to constrict. To focus your eyes more and easy para makuha mo yung focal point to reach the fovea of your retina. The reason for this is that with a very small aperture, almost all the rays pass through the center of the lens and the centralmost rays are always in focus. So take for example this one, and your focal point is within this point over here. So what happens to your lens? Okay, in order for that, mas lumilit ngayon yung pupil mo and at the same time, mas lumalaki ngayon yung lens diameter. Okay, what are some of the errors of refraction na alam ninyo? Well, you were mentioning a while ago, nearsightedness, farsightedness. Okay. There are actually 4 that I want you to know. The first one, let's go to each one of them. We have emetropia, hyperopia or farsightedness, myopia, and astigmatism. Sino dito may astigmatism? Ay, kadami. Do you know that astigmatism is hereditary? Yes, okay. Ano mga napansin ninyo? What did you, what have you noticed?
Ay, sa mga ilaw.
Madali ka mag-ilaw, sumasakit ulo. Diba? Whenever you read, ano pang napansin nyo? Before you came to know?
Masakit.
You start skipping lines. Pag tinignan nyo yung floor, hindi siya pantay.
Opo.
Okay? Okay, let's start to each one of them here. Let's start with emetropia. They consider this pa rin however, it is considered to be normal. And because of this, there are parallel rays that are focused on the retina when the ciliary muscles are completely relaxed. Despite the fact na naka-relax yung muscle, which apparently dapat hindi siya nag-focus dun sa retina, nag-focus pa rin siya. So you can see pa rin clearly, even though if the ciliary muscle is in a completely relaxed state. And you can see all distant objects clearly with its ciliary muscle relaxed. It's called actually an error of refraction, pero looking at it, it has actually some of its advantages by being normal. So kahit malayo-malayo, malapit na malapit, kaya mo pa rin makita. But what I would like you to remember is yung tinatawag natin na farsightedness. So among you here are farsighted? Okay. We call that hyperopia. The problem here is that the eyeball is too short or the lens system is too weak. So there are 2 problems here that can be the cause. Mahaba masyado yung, maikli masyado yung eyeball mo which apparently your focal point is focused, or the image is focused behind the retina. So let's take for this example, the retina is here. Kasi dapat itong focal point should be within the retina here. So what are you going to do? You have to, para umabot yung focal point dito. Oh, anyway, sige. That would be my next slide. Okay, so the problem here is that the parallel light rays are not bent sufficiently by the relaxed lens system to come to focus at the time there is a retina. Naka-relax na yung ating lens, pero hindi pa rin natin ma-accommodate. Hindi niya kaya i-accommodate para ma-reach yung certain point dito. So, what happens here is that the ciliary muscle has to contract to increase the length of the lens. And in order to do so, because of the weak lens system, they have to be corrected by adding an additional refractive power. And what kind of lens is going to be used? A convex lens in front of the eye. No? Para yung refractive power na yun will focus on this and reach this portion. Okay? So, that's the problem with that. So, kailangan natin na convex lens. Not concave, it's a convex lens. What about when it comes to nearsightedness, yung myopia? Kailangan mas malapit. The problem here is that the ciliary muscle is completely relaxed and the light rays coming from the distant objects are focused in front of the retina. Kung ito yung retina, dito naman sa tapat. So, the object will not be seen. So, what are you going to do? Okay, the problem here also is because of a very long eyeball. Mahaba masyado yung eyeball. Okay? We can never know what that is. But it can also result from too much refractive power in the eye lens system. So how do we correct this? Kung kanina, convex, in next naman, you have to make use of a concave lens. Okay, so the refractive surfaces have too much refractive power, and the excess of this will give for a fact that it can be neutralized by placing a concave spherical lens in front of the eye so that it will diverge. When you say diverge, away from each other. So, magfo-focus siya doon sa point na yun. Okay, got it? Hyperopia, concave. Convex. Okay. Ang myopia, okay. Ano ang problem sa hyperopia? Short ng eyeball or? Okay, very good. The other way naman, opposite naman isa. Or the image is focused behind it for hyperopia and in front of the retina for myopia. Okay, let's go to the other one naman. Astigmatism, which is a refractive error of the eye that causes the visual image one plane to focus at a different distance from that of the right plane angles. So, the reason for this is because there are different curvatures of the cornea in one plane of the eye. Instead of it being normal, ang nangyayari, meron different ways. So, ang nangyayari, kalat ngayon yung pagpasok ng ilaw. So, this is what it looks like. The images are focused on different parts of the retina. So, the light rays will go here, there, and there. So, it is not focused properly kasi the light that has to be focused singly in one focal plane, moving towards a focal point, kalat-kalat siya. So, ang nangyayari, maraming multiple focal points ngayon. And in order for you to do so, to correct this one, we only have one kind of lens that we can use. The lens that is going to give something na para mag-refract siya on a certain point, and then another side of a lens that will focus it para magkaroon siya ng isang focal point na lang. Okay, so there is a port of source light here, and then so there is a focal line here. Ang nangyayari, there has to be two kinds of refractive power for that lens. So they are usually mga tinatawag natin mga cylindrical lenses now, this one. Okay? So ayan, like what I said a while ago, multiple focal points. So what we need to do here is to make sure that we will only make one focal point. So kailangan we put a lens that is going to make a certain focal point, one's focal point to reach that certain part of the retina para magiging isang focal point lang. So this is a test that we make use of to see Sino sa inyo? Tignan ninyo ha kung yung chart na yan will show you na parang irregular siya o hindi pantay-pantay. Then that means we have astigmatism. Okay, so ang ginagawa dyan for astigmatism, they use a spherical lens, trial and error, tapos naglalagay sila ng two different planes. Pag sinabi two different planes, itong part na ito ng lens na ito will have a different diopter, and then this one another, and then this one. Okay? By adding an additional cylindrical lens to correct the remaining error in the remaining plane. So that's what we do for astigmatism. And then once the axis and the strength are required, they now are to be determined by the certain type of lens that has to be used. So, take a look at this. The cylindrical lens over here, nakita nyo, iba ang kapal niya, iba rin dito. In order for them to do so, they want to make sure that the lens is able to properly form a focal image or a focal point by adding this one. So it's a trial and error. Inaalam nila kung which one is better for this. No? Because looking at the irregularities of the cornea is also quite difficult to determine. Anyway, you will be learning more of that when you reach ophthalmology in your third year. Which alam kong aabot kayo. Okay? So, ayan, nakikita niyo naman yan. Ano? So, we can also make use of contact lenses. Some of you here are using contact lenses instead of the regular lenses na glasses. Okay, there's actually a special feature of the contact lens. Ano? Kasi by doing so, you are also creating here, you are actually removing the error that is found in between here. Nakita nyo yung irregularity of the cornea. But when you put now a contact lens over here, it now forms a film. That film here will now form a certain type of refractive power in order for it na mag-aayos siya. Okay? And now, yung irregularity ng lens irregularity of the cornea, we call that keratoconus. Okay? Keratoconus. Kerato meaning cornea, conus, that means it's a cone. Okay? So, is that it nullifies? It nullifies the refraction that normally occurs at the anterior surface of the cornea almost entirely. So the tears that is being produced in between this one, the contact lens, and this one is already enough to improve the refractive error with that of the cornea. No, that is already irregular. So kapag nagkaroon ka ng contact lens dito, the film that is being produced now will correct now the irregularity within your cornea here. You want to see what keratoconus looks like? That's it. Matulis tumingin. Okay. So what are the advantages of contact lenses? The lens turns with the eye and gives a broader field of clear vision than the glasses. And it has little effect on the size of the object the person sees through the lens, whereas lenses placed about 1 centimeter in front of the eye affect the size and the image and corrects the focus. So it has nothing to do with the size of the object. It doesn't make it better, but it only affects the focus of an object. Okay? Okay, ano naman yung tinatawag noon sa mga pag nakikita nyo pumuputi yung mata?
Cancer.
Exactly, hindi glaucoma. We'll go to that later, okay? So it is a cloudy or opaque area in the lens, which occurs mainly in older people. The reason for this is there are denaturation of proteins, okay, in some of the lens fibers, and they start to coagulate. When they denature, they coagulate, and they now start to become opaque. And they are also, nawawala na yung transparent protein fibers niya. Kaya ang nangyayari, nakikita nila parang mas putik na. And the only treatment for this is surgical removal. And there are two types of surgical procedures that can be done. We have what we call the extracapsular cataract extraction. Yeah. And the other one is phacoemulsification. Those are the two types. Ito yung tinatawag na ECCE. Phacoemulsification is, isa-shatter lang nila I'll just show it to you, it's easier. So the cataract steps in phaco, we call that phacoemulsification. Once the incision is made, they break up the cloudy lens over there, and then an intraocular lens is implanted, and the incision heals on its own. Ganun nakadali yun. Napakadali na. Yun yung sinasabing magpapa-laser. So, ang nangyayari, hindi na nila tatanggalin yung lens. Babasagin lang nila. Okay, so cataract surgery steps naman yung ECCE. So they make an incision. Okay, so tapos kukunin yung lens, and then they insert the intraocular lens, tatahiin, and then once it's there, then they just wait for the ano to heal, the cornea to heal. Okay, so what are the difference between the two? Okay, so phacoemulsification, I'll just let you read on that. I'm not going to give an exam on that. Okay, this is actually for okay. Let's go now to what we call visual acuity. When you say visual acuity, it is the clear acuteness or clearness of vision. What do you call the chart that's being used for visual acuity? The Snellen chart. Okay, so tomorrow, oh by the way, I forgot to mention, tomorrow we're going to have our laboratory activity. We'll have Dr. Ridmark de la Cruz, our ophthalmologist, to facilitate. So 7:30 tomorrow, would that be okay? Okay, we will be teaching you how to use ophthalmoscopes and Snellen. So yeah, wow. Wow. That's okay. I'm glad for your enthusiasm. So tomorrow, more about the visual acuity. Okay. Meron naman tayo rin yung tinatawag na fluid system of the eye. If you notice, the eye contains lots and lots of fluid dyan sa loob. Okay. We have also a fluid that makes the eyeball distended. No? Kaya hindi siya madaling, pag tinusok mo yung mata na ganyan, hindi siya magpa-flat. No? There are two chambers of the eye. We have the aqueous humor, which is in front of the lens, and that is the freely flowing fluid. And the vitreous humor, which is behind the lens, and it is actually a gelatinous mass with a little flow of fluid. Parang na siyang gel-like. So, punta tayo sa aqueous humor. It is actually a clear, colorless fluid that fills the anterior and the posterior chambers of the eye, which is produced by the ciliary process of the ciliary body. Okay, so there is always a balance between the formation and the absorption because this is the one that regulates the intraocular pressure. So, kailangan balance dyan ang intraocular pressure by production of the fluid and reabsorption of the fluid. Okay, so that is brought about by the ciliary processes, which are over here. Connected siya dun sa ciliary muscles. Let's take a closer look at the ciliary processes. So, yung nakita natin mga extension dyan, finger-like projections, they are the ones that are responsible for the formation of the aqueous humor. I know this is a busy slide, but anyway, I'm going to give the slides to you for you to study. You know, this is actually the pathway on how the aqueous humor is produced and drained within the eye. So this is just the flow of it. Okay, so pag ang ciliary body produces the fluid, okay, they secrete into the posterior chamber. Okay, where's the posterior chamber here? Over here. And then they now flow through the pupil. Diba? Ito yung ating iris. Okay, this one's the iris over here. So that's over here. Okay. And then the central opening into the anterior chamber of the eye. So dito naman, this is the anterior chamber. So yun yung cornea and over here. And then they have certain types also of drainage systems. So umiikot-ikot yan yung tubig na produce at the same time na reabsorb dito. It drains now into what we call the trabecular meshwork called the canal of Schlemm over here. Okay, and after that, ano na naman, produce na naman. I'm so sorry, I thought kasi you already had an overview of the anatomy of the eye. But nevertheless, that will become clearer to you. Okay, let me just move forward here. Okay. So the reason why we have to make sure that